If you live in Maryland, you've probably felt that sudden, sinking feeling in your stomach when opening a massive winter heating or peak summer cooling bill. It's incredibly stressful, right? You're just trying to plan your month, and suddenly your expenses are thrown completely off track. Well, welcome to this explainer. Today, we're unpacking a seriously powerful tool to eliminate that stress entirely: utility budget billing. It is absolutely the ultimate strategy for financial stability, bringing some much-needed predictability and ease right back to your monthly household budget.
Here is a quick look at our agenda for today. Section 1. The Budget Billing Solution. 2. How the math works. 3. Who is eligible. 4. The application process. 5. State energy assistance programs. And finally, Section 6. Managing your budget plan. So to really understand why this is absolutely critical for Maryland residents, we kind of need to look at the overall landscape. Right now, Maryland's residential electricity rates average 21.77 cents per kilowatt hour. To put that into perspective, that is roughly 18% higher than the national average. When your baseline costs are starting out that high, the seasonal spikes from our hot, humid summers and freezing winters can just completely wreck a household budget. I mean, just imagine opening your mail and seeing this. This is a real-world example from a Maryland resident on Reddit who posted about a shockingly high energy bill of $794 from Pepco. You're trying to pay for groceries, keep up with rent, and out of nowhere you are hit with an unexpected near $800 expense. It perfectly demonstrates how fluctuating utility costs can turn into a genuine financial nightmare pretty much overnight.
Section 1. The Budget Billing Solution. So how exactly do we shield ourselves from these massive financial surprises?
Well, it comes down to a budget billing plan, which is sometimes called an average payment plan or level billing. It's a specialized payment plan offered directly by your utility provider. Basically, what it does is average out your yearly utility costs into consistent, predictable monthly payments. Now, I want to be really clear on this point because it's a common misconception. This is an incredible budgeting tool to smooth out the highs and lows, but it's not a discount on the total amount of energy you use. You're still paying for the exact same amount of electricity or gas you consume. It's just spread out on a flat, highly predictable schedule that is infinitely easier to manage.
The contrast is honestly stark. With a standard bill, your costs are fluctuating wildly depending on if you're blasting the air conditioning in July or cranking the heat in January. It's a total roller coaster. But with a budget bill, you get even, predictable monthly payments year-round. It brings total financial peace of mind. You can actually sit down and plan your monthly expenses without fearing what the mail carrier is going to drop off.
Section 2. How the math works. Okay, so how exactly do utility companies calculate these flat payments without losing money? Let's break down the mechanics.
Most regulated utilities in Maryland use what's called the fixed annual estimate model. They take the historical energy usage baseline of your specific home to project your estimated total cost for the upcoming 12 months. And this projection also factors in expected weather patterns and any known rate changes. Then it's simple math. They divide that total estimated cost by 12, which gives you your fixed monthly payment. It's elegantly simple, but remember, it does rely heavily on your home's past data to predict the future.
Section 3. Who is eligible? This whole thing sounds like a complete no-brainer, right? But who actually qualifies to jump on these plans?
For the vast majority of utilities in Maryland, we're talking BGE, Delmarva Power, SMECO, the standard prerequisite is that your account just has to be current. You generally cannot have delinquent or past due balances when you apply. Furthermore, because of that math formula we just looked at, the utility usually requires a baseline usage history at your specific address. Depending on the company, they might need anywhere from 30 days of data, like Potomac Edison requires, all the way up to 6 months of history. They just need a reliable data set to base your estimate on.
Now here is a really important heads up for Maryland residents. Maryland has a deregulated energy market. That means you can choose a third-party retail energy supplier for your actual power, while your local utility just maintains the lines and delivers it to your house. If you use a third-party supplier, your local utility is typically only required to put your delivery charges on a budget plan. You might actually have to reach out to your retail supplier directly to set up a second, completely separate budget plan just for those generation charges. That's a crucial step to ensure your whole bill is stabilized.
Section 4. The application process. All right, let's get into the action-oriented part of this explainer. How do you actually get this set up?
Getting enrolled is incredibly straightforward. Step 1, just identify your utility provider. Check a recent bill and see if you're with BGE, Pepco, Washington Gas, or someone else. Step 2, verify your account is current
and gather up any necessary documents, like your account number and some basic identification. And step 3, apply. You can almost always do this instantly through your utilities online web portal or just by calling their customer service line directly.
So let's quickly run through what you need to know for the major Maryland providers. For BGE and Pepco, you can call them directly at 1-833-442-7583, and they actually recalculate your usage every 6 months. Delmarva Power adjusts at least twice a year. Potomac Edison is kind of unique. They do continuous monthly rolling updates with no massive end-of-year true-up. And then Smecco requires a minimum of $300 in charges over the past 6 months before you can enroll. Basically, figure out who your provider is, give them a call, or head over to their online portal.
Section 5. State Energy Assistance Programs. But wait, what if you are struggling with past due balances right now, and you don't qualify under those standard rules we just talked about?
Well, this is where the Maryland Office of Home Energy Programs, or OHEP, steps in. They offer some truly incredible safety nets for low to moderate income households. There's MEEP for heating assistance, the Electric Universal Service Program, or EUSP, for electric bill subsidies, and arrearage assistance, which can help wipe out up to $2,000 in past due debt. And here's what's absolutely fascinating. Programs like EUSP and the Utility Service Protection Program actually mandate that you participate in budget billing to receive the funds. They essentially force you into a stable billing cycle to ensure you stay protected from winter shutoffs.
Now, you might be thinking, there's no way I qualify. I probably make too much money. But the income thresholds are actually surprisingly broad. For a single-person household, the maximum gross annual income is $66,250. For a family of 4, it goes all the way up to $94,650. If your household falls under these thresholds and you need a financial safety net, I highly encourage you to check out marylandbenefits.gov and apply. It's a vital resource that is designed exactly for situations like this.
Section 6. Managing your budget plan. Okay. Let's say you're officially enrolled, whether through a standard application or state assistance. What happens next? Let's talk about managing this plan throughout the year.
The absolute most crucial thing to remember is that your new budget bill isn't set in stone forever. Utilities will periodically review your actual energy usage, usually around every 6 months. If your consumption goes way up, or if utility rates change across the state, your budget payment is going to be adjusted to reflect that reality. Then, at the end of your 12-month cycle, there's a true-up. If you used more energy over the year than your estimates covered, you will owe a deficit. But hey, if you used less, you actually receive a credit on your account.
Because of this true-up process, it's absolutely vital that you continue to monitor your actual energy usage. Budget billing isn't a free pass to just leave all the windows open with the heat running. If you do that, your budget bill is definitely going to jump significantly at that 6-month review. If you do face an unexpected payment increase or spot a major discrepancy, reach out to your utility immediately to discuss your actual usage. And hey, if your initial application is denied for any reason, don't give up. Contact OHAP to see how you can improve your standing.
So all of this brings us to one final question for you. Are you ready to finally take control of your energy costs? Budget billing really is an incredibly effective and accessible way to bring predictability back to your household finances here in Maryland. By leveraging these tools, you can finally say goodbye to those $800 surprise bills for good. However, a really vital disclaimer before we wrap up. Policies, specific rates, and exact enrollment terms can and do change over time. So please always verify the current details directly with your specific utility provider. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and here's to a future with zero billing surprises.